What's going on, everyone? It's Brandon with JACOJE Fine Jewelry, your personal jeweler. In this video, I want to do a review on the lobster clasp or lock. The design comes from an actual lobster claw, of course, like my good friend Larry the Lobster. I'm feeding him good, saving him for a special occasion. But most chains you'll find online in stores feature this clasp. It's important for me to give you my honest review. With that being said, let's get started. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at JACOJE Fine Jewelry. Visit my website, www.jacoje.com. And every like I get on this video, I'm gonna drop a pellet for Larry the Lobster. We are both hungry here, so help us out. Smash that like button, smash, 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 smash. Now, like I mentioned earlier, these are the staple for most chains in the market, the lobster clasp. And there's a few things about this. Number one is the wiring that holds the spring essentially inside this clasp is not gold. That's why when you do the magnet test, it attracts the clasp because that is not gold. Now, I know what some of you might think, wait, my jeweler's ripping me off. I don't have a solid gold piece. No, they are protecting you. You do not want your spring to be gold. Gold is soft, delicate, and it is not the material you want for a spring inside a clasp that is protecting your gold chain, keeping it around your neck. So what happens there? Two things I've seen over the years. Lobster clasps are not perfect. That's probably why you clicked on this video. Maybe you had a malfunction, a break in one, and you're trying to see what is going on or how you can prevent it. The number one thing you'll see, it's as if I was comparing to your shoulder being out of the socket. Sometimes that happens with these clasps. So if you pull on it and it just pops out of place, all of a sudden now you have a malfunction or a clasp that doesn't work, just as if you were to pop your shoulder out or break your arm. It's not gonna work very well. It's the same thing, or if the spring itself breaks, but most commonly the wire gets out of place and needs adjustment to put back in place to make it work. That is what happens with these types of clasps. Now, you might be freaking out because you spent all this money on a gold chain and I basically told you that it's bound to happen. I'm telling you right now, just said all of that, is I prefer lobster clasp. All my chains are lobster clasp. They're comfortable. I like them. The thing you could do, and what works for me, and this could just be bad luck, it's something that can be replaced or fixed, but bad luck or something that can be prevented. When I put on any chains I'm doing, I barely unclasp that toggle just to get the other end through. Now that, for me, helps preserve the spring or has nothing that does. Because again, if you break your arm, you didn't break it because you're just relaxing watching some football, go Chargers on a Sunday. It has to be stress. You break something because it's stress. Anything breaks, no matter what it is, gold chain, glass jar, stress, it breaks something. That's what happens when these malfunction. So for my recommendation to you guys watching is just to be gentle when unclasping. I only unclasp it just barely enough for the other end to get through. Now, what you have to realize when you're doing that, from experience, is make sure, because if you're doing it from the back, you're not really watching, make sure it's on there. And what I do is whenever I put a new chain on, I put my thumb and just make sure it clasps, because sometimes it'll get caught and you think you clasp it, it feels like it's on there, but when you move around, it pops back off because it was never on right. That's when you do it, when you only open a little bit, that can happen. So just take your thumb, make sure everything is good. If someone's around, you have them check whatever you want to do. It's not that serious. I just do a simple thumb trick and know it's on and I'm good to go. So for preserving your clasp, that's what I recommend. Don't crank it back all the way. It does not need that. Just a little bit to help that spring kind of just stay with the tension, and put it on and you're good to go. And if something does happen, it's a relatively easy fix for any jeweler. My 5.5mm white gold flat curve I've had for 10 years. Every day I wear it. I maybe take it off twice a year. So I'm not worried about it too much because I'm not every day unclasping, clasping. So when I do take it off, I just inspect it. Nothing with a mechanic use or built into it. It's gonna last a lifetime. There's just nothing out there that you could say that does not require maintenance or some work to it. If you have a gold nugget signet ring, yes, that'll last. You might polish it every once in a while to make it look good, but there's nothing in there that's moving parts. When you're talking about moving parts, you're talking about maintenance. You could have a Toyota that is built to last a lifetime, but eventually it's gonna have problems. It's gonna break down because there's mechanics involved with it. You have to oil change it. You have to transmission flush, no different than a chain. You gotta make sure it's just good. If you're doing long-term wear, anything happens, it's easily fixable. Just stay on top of it. And if we're talking about box locks or barrel locks, the world's strongest clasp, those two are no saints. You have the tongue that is made of gold. Gold is soft. Those eventually wear down, and the little cricket legs, the safety toggles on the sides are gold as well. They bend and kind of wear down as well. So there's still maintenance in a very secure lock like the box or barrel lock. So no matter what you're going with jewelry, you just have to kind of every once in a while make sure it is functioning. Take it to jeweler, get it polished, get it checked over. They'll look at the end caps, the jump rings, the lobster lock, and just say, yes, it is good to go. At the end of the day, just wear it, watch it, and enjoy your gold jewelry. Let me know down below if you have any questions. That's it for today's video, and we will see you on our next jewelry video.